your picking bright smile, make sure say them they brush every day with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection because Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out.
On the news this morning, Governor Wike charges Chief of Army Staff to reduce army involvement in politics. Governors warn that insecurity is a threat to 2023 elections. Reps, others call for arrest of Fulani nationality movement over claims of attacking Governor Otum's convoy. On the foreign scene, Congo-Brazzaville's President Denis Sassou Nguesso wins re-election by a landslide. COVID is real. Observe all health protocols. Protect yourself, protect others. I am Ifeimi Andrew. Governor Nyesom Wike has urged the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru, to make a difference and stop army involvement in politics. Governor Wike gave the charge when Chief of Army Staff paid him a courtesy visit at the Government House in Port Harcourt. He said the call became necessary following the activities of some soldiers in the state.
Well, let me use the opportunity as my brother and my friend to say that there's a need for you to make a difference, to bring back the respect Nigerians used to have in the armed forces. In those days, when you see a soldier, you run. These days, it's difficult. Why? Because soldiers have been exposed to politics. I want you to make a difference, to say that what their interest is to protect Nigerians, is to fight bandits, is to fight insurgency, and not to carry ballot boxes. It was a big shame in 2019 what happened in this state.
Governor Wike also promised to give all necessary support to the army and other security agencies in the state to fight insecurity.
Please make sure Nigeria is safe like you're fighting. I'm ready to support for you to achieve this. I'm ready to support through your GOC 6 division and other security agencies. All I want is to fight kidnapping, fight cultism. All these people talking about their independence, not from here, not from here. And we are not part of a secession of anywhere. We are not part of any insurgency, no. So we will support the army and the other security agencies to make sure that they reduce the level of crime and criminality in this state.
The governor also gave reasons why he kicked against the federal government taking 1 billion naira from the excess crude account to support the military.
When you hear that I said no, I will not support the taking money from the $1 billion. Why I did what I did was that I didn't have the confidence of those that were in authority then. I didn't have it, and I didn't hide it. Now that I have confidence that you have come, I knew you when you were in the 82 division, and the day you were announced, I said, God, thank you that a young man has come who has interest. Anybody that you know that's involved in politics, please flush the person out. Because the problem we're having are politicians.
Correspondent Emeka Otukan reports that the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru, commended the governor for his achievement, especially his zero tolerance for separatist groups.
Your Excellency, the purpose of this visit this afternoon is part of a maiden operational visit to formation and units under 6th Division. But we cannot come here and carry out operational visits without passing through to see a brother and friend, His Excellency. So we're here to pay you courtesies and then continue with our visits. Let me also seize this opportunity to appreciate His Excellency for his numerous achievements in the areas of infrastructural development and good governance in the last 6 years.
Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom says if the insecurity challenges in the country continues, the 2023 elections will not hold. Governor Ortom said this when he visited President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. Briefing journalists after a meeting with the president, Governor Ortom said no meaningful progress has been made on the issue of security.
That we should not politicize the issue of attempted assassination on myself. If a governor is attacked, then it is an attack on all. And we should know when to team up together to work as a team to salvage the country. That is what I'm saying.
Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu also asked the federal government to tackle the deteriorating insecurity in the country. Speaking on Channels Television last night, he said elections cannot be conducted under an insecure environment.
Definitely, we cannot conduct any election under an insecure environment.
So if this insecurity is not nipped in the bud, it will escalate undoubtedly. And if it escalates, and with that, there's nobody that can carry out any election under that atmosphere.
The House of Representatives has charged the police and the Department of State Services to go after the Fulani nationality movement, which has claimed responsibility for the attack on Governor Samuel Ortom on Saturday along Makodi-Gboko Highway in Benue. A lawyer, Innocent Ekwe, says it is disappointed that days after Fulani nationality movement FUNAM claimed responsibility for the attack on Governor Ortom of Benue State, President Muhammadu Buhari is yet to order their arrest. Dr. Ekwe, while speaking on the way President Buhari is tackling the rise in insecurity in the country, said it is time the president takes action to prove to Nigerians that he is in charge of the government.
They should be arrested, prosecuted, and dealt with according to the provisions of our law by dealing decisively with these elements that want to plunge this nation into total collapse. Now that some persons have publicly admitted responsibility for the act, the Inspector General of Police should move in and arrest them promptly and charge them before a competent jurisdiction. When they do that, they will restore hope and confidence to Nigerian citizens. And people will now begin to believe that federal government is serious in dealing with the security situations in the country.
The Port Harcourt-based legal practitioner, however, insinuated that the president's response to insecurity in the country suggests that he's not ready to bring it to an end.
It's an unbecoming attitude which the president and all federal authorities must rise and act with immediate action to deal with these persons perpetrating this criminal act. They are undermining the survival of this country, and what they are doing can plunge this nation into total war. The president has been too reluctant, too slow, too inactive in responding adequately to this situation.
A security analyst who spoke anonymously told our correspondent Sebio Ruwari that Mr. President can do better than condemning the several killings in the country.
Most people don't believe that the president has even said anything. What we do here is the presidency has said. When the president makes a statement and in a serious issue like this, and the broadcast is made, and it is said from the president, that goes a long way. What he needed is to just add a bite to his speech and let us actually know that he is the one saying this. These things are not beyond us. Honestly speaking, they are not beyond us. It's just that we have not added a bite to the talking. It has happened the first, it has happened the second time. And if it is not checked, it will continue. It may not, it may even go beyond governors.
Recall that President Muhammadu Buhari had strongly condemned the attack on Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State in a statement by his aide, Garba Shehu. Lucky Onosikume, the boat driver who was wrongly arrested and detained at the IGP monitoring unit, has named two officers, Azubike and Joshua, as members of the IGP monitoring team that arrested him. Mr. Onisikume named them while speaking on a radio program on Tuesday.
My IPU for the Akwa Ibom team, his name now Azubike.
Okay.
He's from Ejie. Then the second officer will follow. His name.
Meanwhile, some Nigerians have likened it to the case of Chima Ekunadu and have called on the Commissioner of Police, Friday Ebuka, not to sweep the matter under the carpet.
This one not be bad arrest, I'll call this one. This one I kidnapping because that guy for just die for there. He just remain for their hand. Nobody go know where a part of that guy. Because so they do shame own. May they not cover this issue. May they follow up this issue.
I don't know what they do for this country. I beg, I want them punish. Those people make them punish them very well. So I don't know that's good. Just as you don't say, don't unless you say anything you say or do will be used against you, and then will still tell you the right statement. And that statement where they right, it go use against you. Anybody where they in charge, we know how to handle this case very well. People where commit this offense, all these officers where commit this offense, make them like tomorrow, and I go say police now our friend. Make them do something. Make sure no end for radio. Chima, don't die go like that. The case don't close like that.
Recall that Mr. Onosikume was released on Tuesday after being detained at the IGP Tactical Unit Berkeley for 5 days on yet-to-be-determined charges. Another motorist has accused some officials of the Rivers State's task force on illegal motor park of attacking him with a machete. Mr. Emmanuel told our correspondent that he was beaten up for filming the task force officials with his phone when he saw them harassing another driver along the East-West Road in Rumosi, Port Harcourt. He said the task force officials vandalized his car and took his phone.
They went and opened my car to carry the battery. They were dragging, and I was trying to stop them. All of them was on me. They tore my clothes, and they finally dragged the battery. They spoiled the battery, and they went with the battery and dragged me to their vehicle that they're taking me to government house. So getting to Obrikwe flyover, they now stopped to push me down. I should get down. I said I won't go down. They should give me my phone and my battery. They refused. That was when they started hitting me and gave me this wound in my hand.
Recall that there have been complaints about the activities of some of the task force officials. Moving on, the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN, in Rivers State, in solidarity with the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, blocked the entrance of the State House of Assembly, protesting the non-implementation of financial autonomy by state legislatures. The action was in compliance with the order by its national body that all state houses of assembly be picketed. Addressing journalists during the protest, Zonal Vice President of PASAN, Okeleke Lewis, who represented the national president of PASAN, Usman Mohammed, said the state houses of assembly across the country will continue to remain closed until their demand is met.
This struggle has been on until 2 years ago, when there was an amendment to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that amendment clearly now granted autonomy to state houses of assembly, financial autonomy, that's to say. And since then, there has not been any sincere effort to bring that constitutional approval to life. And until it is implemented, PASAN will remain shut down.
State Chairman of PASAN, Comfort Otwene, said the union has exhausted all avenues to get the attention of the government to meet their demands.
We are asking for just one thing. We are asking for the implementation of the legislative autonomy as enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution as amended. The Constitution of Nigeria is supreme. Abino Biso.
Also, State Chairman of NLC, Beatrice Utubo, urged members of PASAN not to relent in their struggle against the injustice meted to Nigerian workers.
And we are here in solidarity because injury to one is injury to all. We are asking for social justice. The right thing should be done. We cannot begin to act with impunity and think that democracy will work. Democracy is a rule of law. You cannot just stay and begin to select the laws, the ones you want to implement. You want to implement the ones that will favor you, and what I say against you should not be implemented. These governors forum that began to arrogate themselves in powers that does not belong to them. They think that they are emperors, but then I'm only advising the worker that we should be steadfast. Because tomorrow they begin to threaten you, no work, no pay.
Our correspondent reports that similar protests held in all the states of the Federation. Public Affairs Analyst Achineke William Wobodo has questioned the rationale behind the sponsorship and passing into law the bill by the Rivers State House of Assembly, an executive bill seeking to allow payment of up to 70% mobilization fee to contractors against the initial 30%. Recall that on Monday, the lawmakers passed into law the bill, which sought for upward review of the mobilization fee for contractors. But Mr. William Wobodo, while analyzing the bill, said it is to cover up what he described as executive rascality of the current administration in the award of contracts.
What is happening in Rivers State, as most of us have said, is that the state has become a one-man kind of business. What the governor is doing is trying to right the wrong in most of the arbitrary awards of contracts. But now to make the matter work is that the governor can sit in his bedroom and say, I want to award a contract of 20 billion, 30 billion, and then he awards it from his bedroom, and then it's executed. This is not only shameful, it is absurd. I'm pained that nobody is speaking out in Rivers State.
The public affairs analyst also asked what changed 7 years after the same officials of this administration kicked against the introduction of this clause into the procurement law by former Governor Chibuike Amechi's administration.
This same governor today and some of his allies were people who were shouting and talking about it, crying and saying, the previous administration wanted to indulge in some level of improper activities. But today he has moved that same law, fired it to 70%. So what it means is that governor can sit in his office without any advert, without any due process, and award contract. So that's why we can see them awarding contract to only one company in the state. Nobody is competing with them.
Mr. Achineke William Wobodo, however, challenged the current administration to point to one policy the government is determined to achieve.
You cannot point to any policy at all by the state government, be it in education, be it in health. Even if you now look at the construction of roads that the government is doing, you cannot also point into any policy that the government is trying to address. If you look at the flyover at Garrison, for instance, you would have thought that the aim of that flyover would be to decongest traffic around that area. But if you drive past that area, you will still see that the traffic is even worse now than it was before. So I do not see any policy that the government of Rivers State has put in place.
On his part, Program Manager of Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, Saluddin Hashim, said the bill, if it is not reversed, will be a negative signpost in the legislative business.
And the prescription of the law suggests that they are supposed to prescribe solution to governance challenge, not to reinforce it. So I think they should, as part of urgency, reverse and revise themselves and ensure that they go back to status quo. This is something that the Procurement Act 2007 that was reviewed eventually tries to discourage and of course remove every form of temptation that would actually lure any executive arm of government into any sort of web of corruption. It is going to be a negative signpost for other stakeholders of assembly across the country.
Still ahead, Rivers State to strengthen business ties with Belgium government. Stay tuned.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
INEC says it plans to resume continuous voters registration CVR across the country in the second quarter of 2021. INEC head of ICT in Ibadan, Wumi Balogun, at the training of electoral officers and assistant electoral officers and access to polling units, said the commission will be using INEC voters enrollment devices for the CVR instead of the direct data capturing machine. Away from that, Governor Nyesom Wike has met with the new Belgian ambassador to Nigeria, Daniel Bertrand, in a bid to strengthen business ties with Belgian government. The meeting was held behind closed doors at the Government House in Port Harcourt. Briefing journalists after the meeting, the Belgian ambassador, Daniel Bertrand, said his visit to Rivers State was to see the extent of operations of Belgian companies in the state.
I am here to visit the state and to visit Belgian companies active in the area. There are already some Belgian companies active in Nigeria and specialty in the River State, so we have some opportunities in harbor facilities or in gas and agriculture.
In business, a federal high court in Lagos has ordered the extension of the deadline for national identity number NIN by 2 months. Justice Maureen Onyetenu granted the extension while delivering a ruling in a fundamental rights suit filed by legal practitioner Monday Ubani against the federal government, the Attorney General of the Federation, Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC), and the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. In entertainment, Kylie Jenner has responded to clear the air after she was called out for asking her fans to donate towards the treatment of a makeup artist. Celebrity makeup artist Samuel Rauda had been involved in an accident and his family created a GoFundMe account for the medical expenses, including a major surgery. Jenner, who donated $5,000, shared a link to the fundraiser on her Instagram story. Jennifer's post triggered a major outcry on social media, with many pointing out that the reality star has extreme wealth and the ability to cover Rauda's medical expenses without seeking donations from her fans. In sports, Real Madrid's Champions League quarter-final first leg at home to Liverpool will not be moved abroad following an easing of coronavirus restrictions. Spain imposed restrictions on flights from Britain in December over concerns of a variant of COVID-19 which affected European ties involving Chelsea and Manchester United. The policy will end on 30th of March, with the Reds set to face Real Madrid on the 6th of April.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Congo-Brazzaville's President Denis Sassou Nguesso has won re-election by a landslide with 89% of the vote. The main opposition candidate Guy Brice Parfait Colelas, who died on Sunday, got 8%. He was suffering from COVID-19. The 77-year-old President Sassou Nguesso has ruled the country for 37 years. He's been in power since 1979, except for a 5-year period after losing elections in 1992. On the news this morning, you heard that Governor Nyesom Wike has charged the Chief of Army Staff to reduce army involvement in politics. Governors Autumn and Akeredolu have warned that insecurity is a threat to 2023 elections. Reps, others are calling for the arrest of Fulani nationality movement over claims of attacking Governor Autumn's convoy. On the foreign scene, we told you that Congo-Brazzaville's President Denis Sassou Nguesso has won re-election by landslide. The news was edited by Enoho Ogbevere. I am Ifeemi Andrew. Contact our newsroom on 0818-900-0017. Light rains to continue in Port Harcourt this morning. Thank you for your time and have a great day ahead.